Happy Valentine's Day, or should I say, good evening, Clarice. It's February 14, 2026, and we are officially celebrating the 35th anniversary of the only horror thriller to sweep the Big Five at the Oscars. From the chilling cells of 1991 to the legendary status of its stars today, we're breaking down the evolution of Hannibal Lecter and Clarice Starling. Let's see who's still hungry for the spotlight. In 1991, Anthony Hopkins delivered a then performance that changed cinema history with only 16 minutes of screen time. He wasn't the first choice. Legendary actors like Sean Connery famously turned the role down because they found the script disgusting, but Hopkins saw the dark brilliance in Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He created a villain who was sophisticated, cultured, and utterly terrifying without ever blinking on camera. Fast forward to the now of February 2026, and Sir Anthony Hopkins is arguably the most successful elder statesman in Hollywood. At 88 years old, he is still winning Oscars, most recently for The Father, and has become a social media sensation for his eccentric, joyful dancing videos that contrast hilariously with his cannibalistic past. In 2026, he is currently preparing for a new Shakespearean adaptation, proving his mind is as sharp as Lecter's scalpel. Comparing the 1991 cannibal to the 2026 icon shows an actor who successfully transitioned from a frightening character actor to a globally beloved treasure. He has spent 35 years proving that while he can play the monster, his real legacy is his unmatched mastery of the craft. Then we have Jodie Foster, who in 1991 played Clarice Starling, the FBI trainee who had to face her own lambs to catch a killer. Foster was already a veteran child star, but this role solidified her as a powerhouse of the 90s. The then of 1991 was a young woman navigating a male-dominated field, both in the movie and in Hollywood. Fast forward to the now of 2026, and Jodie Foster's evolution is nothing short of incredible. She is no longer just an actress, she is a prestigious director and a symbol of longevity in the industry. Just this month, she is trending for her recent work in True Detective, Night Country, where she returned to her detective roots to massive critical acclaim. In 2026, Foster is celebrated as a pioneer who took control of her own narrative, moving from the vulnerable trainee of 1991 to the authoritative leader of 2026. Seeing her side by side with her 35-year-old self shows a woman who has aged with immense grace and power, maintaining the same piercing intelligence in her eyes that first drew Dr. Lecter's attention 3.5 decades ago. Finally, we look at the now of the man who gave us the ultimate nightmare, Ted Levine as Buffalo Bill. In 1991, his performance was so terrifyingly accurate that it almost overshadowed the lead duo. The then version of Levine was an actor who fully committed to the disturbing skin suit obsession of James Gumb, creating a character that remains a benchmark for psychological horror. In 2026, Ted Levine is recognized as one of the industry's most versatile character actors. He spent years as the beloved Captain Leland Stottlemyre on Monk, and in 2026, he is frequently seen in high-end westerns and gritty dramas. To celebrate the 35th anniversary this week, fans have been flocking to the real Buffalo Bill's house in Pennsylvania, which has become a boutique hotel and interactive museum. Comparing the 1991 Killer in the Basement to the 2026 Respected Veteran shows how a single role can define a career without trapping an actor in it. In 2026, Levine's performance is being studied by a new generation of horror fans who are rediscovering the complexity he brought to a role that could have easily been a caricature. 35 years later, the lambs are finally silent, but our obsession with Hannibal Lecter has never been louder. From the 1991 sweep to the 2026 legends, this film remains the gold standard of thrillers. Which scene still gives you the most chills today? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe for our next anniversary breakdown. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your dinner, with a nice Chianti.